They found it, a metal that shouldn't exist, a metal described by Plato 2,300 years ago. A metal nobody believed was real, until divers pulled it from the bottom of the ocean. And that changes everything we thought we knew about Atlantis. For over 2 millennia, historians called it fiction, a philosophical story, nothing more. But Plato wasn't writing fiction. He was recording a warning, and the details he left behind are too specific to ignore. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what Plato described. You'll understand why serious researchers now believe something real inspired this story. And you'll see one discovery that science still cannot fully explain. Stay until the end, because the last piece of evidence is the one nobody talks about. The year is 360 BC. Plato writes 2 dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. In them, an Egyptian priest reveals a secret kept for thousands of years. Beyond the Pillars of Hercules, beyond what is now the Strait of Gibraltar, there existed an island empire unlike anything in the ancient world. Its name was Atlantis, and according to Plato, it was enormous. Larger than Libya and Asia combined. Its capital city was an engineering masterpiece, concentric rings of land and water, connected by tunnels and canals. At the center, a temple dedicated to Poseidon, covered in gold, decorated in silver, built with a metal called orichalcum, a metal Plato described as second only to gold in value, glowing red, extraordinarily rare, and completely unknown to modern science, or so they thought. In 2013, a shipwreck was discovered off the coast of Sicily. Inside, divers found 39 metal ingots. Scientists analyzed them carefully. The composition was unlike anything in the historical record, an alloy of zinc, copper, and trace elements. Rare, ancient, unidentified. They called it orichalcum, the exact metal Plato described. The metal experts said was invented, pulled from the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. Now ask yourself something. How did Plato describe a real metal in extraordinary detail, 2,300 years before we found it? Was he guessing? Or was he remembering? According to Plato, Atlantis didn't just disappear. It was destroyed, deliberately, completely, in a single day and night. The gods grew angry, because Atlantis had become something dangerous. Its rulers abandoned wisdom for power. They expanded their empire by force. They exploited their own people. They poisoned the very civilization they had built. Sound familiar? Plato wasn't describing ancient history. He was describing human nature. And Zeus responded with catastrophe, earthquakes, floods, fire from the sky, and Atlantis sank beneath the ocean, never to be found again. For centuries, that's where the story ended, until 1882. A former U.S. congressman named Ignatius Donnelly published a book that shook the world. His argument was simple and radical. Atlantis was real, not a symbol, not a lesson. Real, and every major ancient civilization traced back to it. Egypt, the Maya, Mesopotamia, ancient India. All of them, he argued, were survivors of Atlantis. The book sold millions of copies worldwide, and suddenly the search began in earnest. Explorers crossed oceans, scientists examined coastlines, governments funded expeditions, all looking for one thing: a sunken city that matched Plato's description. None of them found it. But one location kept appearing in the research: Santorini, Greece, around 1600 BC. One of the most violent volcanic eruptions in recorded history. An entire island collapsed into the sea overnight. Tsunamis obliterated coastlines across the Mediterranean, the sky filled with ash for years. Civilizations collapsed, trade routes vanished, populations disappeared. The Minoan civilization, one of the most advanced cultures of the ancient world, never fully recovered. Researchers noticed something disturbing: the timeline, the location, the destruction. It matched. Not perfectly, but enough to ask the question: was Santorini the real Atlantis? Or was it simply the event that inspired the story? Nobody knows for certain. But here's what makes it deeply unsettling. We have mapped the surface of Mars in higher resolution than we have mapped our own ocean floor. Whatever is down there, we haven't found it yet. Now consider what Plato was really doing. He wasn't a historian, he was a philosopher, the greatest of his age. And philosophers don't waste words. Everything in his writing had purpose. Atlantis was powerful, then corrupt, then destroyed. Athens was disciplined, virtuous. It survived. The message is impossible to miss. Civilizations don't collapse from outside forces, they collapse from within. Arrogance, greed, the belief that power makes you untouchable. Rome knew this lesson and ignored it. The Maya knew it and ignored it. Every great empire in history has stood exactly where Atlantis stood, at the peak, believing the fall was impossible. And Plato wrote all of this down 2,300 years ago. Not as history, as a mirror. So was Atlantis real? Here is the honest answer. We don't know. We have a metal pulled from the ocean that shouldn't exist. We have a volcanic catastrophe that matches the description. We have a philosopher precise enough to be believed and philosophical enough to be doubted. And we have an ocean floor we have barely explored. What we don't have is proof. But we also don't have proof it was fiction. And there's something worth sitting with. Every civilization that has ever called itself untouchable has eventually been proven wrong. Maybe Atlantis is down there, waiting. Maybe it's a warning we keep refusing to hear. Or maybe the most dangerous version of Atlantis is the one we're building right now. So I want to know what you think. Was Atlantis a real place that vanished beneath the ocean? Or was Plato holding up a mirror to humanity and daring us to look? Leave your answer in the comments. And if this made you think differently about what we think we know, you know what to do.